Some of our favorite things come once a year: Christmas, football on Thanksgiving, and the ratings review of the LG C-Series TV as a monitor. And that's where we are now. Today we're going to take a look at the 42-inch LG C5. Unlike the 65-inch model we already tested as a TV, we tested this one as a monitor. This means we use different testing methods and settings with a focus on how someone would use it as a monitor, so you can't just compare it to our TV review. So why did we test it as a monitor? You asked for it. It won our voting system in September, so we appreciate everyone getting involved in that. You can always vote for the next monitor to be tested, and don't forget that insiders get extra votes. Out of the sizes you can get the C5 in, this 42-inch model is the smallest of the bunch. The 42 and 48-inch models are different than the larger sizes because they don't have the same brightness booster technology, so the smaller sizes aren't as bright. This 42-inch model also has a unique stand. There's enough space between the 2 feet for your keyboard and mouse. Despite its big size, the stand holds the TV well, and there isn't much wobble even when you have it on an unstable desk. You can also use the feet for basic cable management, but unlike typical PC monitors, you can adjust them in any way. In terms of inputs, it offers a standard range for a high-end TV, including 4 HDMI 2.1 ports. One of these also serves as the eARC port, supporting pass-through for Dolby Digital audio formats. Unlike most monitors, it also has a tuner and an optical digital audio output. Even though it has 3 USB-A ports, these are only for connecting devices directly to the TV, as it doesn't have an upstream port for your computer. It also lacks a DisplayPort input that most monitors have. As you'd expect with a TV, it even comes with a built-in smart system and a processor that gives it an edge versus monitors when watching low bitrate or lower resolution content. It even has more picture modes and settings to adjust than a typical monitor. This includes a PC mode by switching the input label to PC or enabling 444 pass-through, as both of these settings have the same impact. That's exactly what we did for testing. We put the TV into PC mode to better represent how someone would use it as a PC monitor. So what exactly does the PC mode give you? The main advantage is its low input lag. Well, you also need to enable the game optimizer setting and set prevent input delay to boost to get the lowest input lag for gaming. Even without those settings, the PC mode is responsive enough for working or browsing the web. Another advantage of using the PC mode has to do with the screen's brightness. It doesn't have a strong automatic brightness limiter, which means that it maintains fairly consistent brightness across different content, like when you're minimizing and maximizing windows. Unlike last year's C4, you can now enable the peak brightness setting in PC mode, but only when you're using the game optimizer picture mode. This helps the TV get bright enough to fight some glare in a room with a few lights around. Even though its coating reduces glare well, reflections are still distracting in a sunny room. Luckily, the ABL isn't strong even with this setting on, but full screen windows are a bit dimmer. If that bothers you, you could disable the peak brightness setting to get better ABL, but then the screen is dimmer overall. Of course, if you want a brighter screen, you could take it out of PC mode and use the expert picture mode, but that means the input lag will be higher and the ABL will be more aggressive. You'll get distracting changes in brightness when minimizing and maximizing windows. That's why it's better to use the PC mode when you want to use the TV like a monitor. The TV gets very bright in HDR even in PC mode. Highlights really stand out and pop. Like any OLED though, it can't maintain this high brightness with larger areas. On the plus side, it has very accurate PQ EOTF tracking, so it displays content at the brightness that the creator intended. It also has a sharp cutoff at its peak brightness, so it lets highlights get the brightest they can without any tone mapping. Unlike an SDR, the brightness in HDR doesn't change in the game optimizer or filmmaker picture modes. Even the EOTF is the same between them. Colors are very accurate when using the PC mode and game optimizer picture mode. Even though it doesn't have a typical sRGB mode like typical monitors, you could set the color gamut setting to auto detect and color depth to 50 if you want the monitor to limit colors to the sRGB color space. The color temperature is cold like this though, so we also had to change the color temperature setting to warm 40 for better accuracy. There are still some white balance and gamma issues, so you need to calibrate it if you want the most accurate colors for any sort of content creation. While it displays a wide range of colors, one thing to keep in mind is that these colors aren't as vivid as on a QD OLED. Luckily, it's good at keeping the image consistent when viewing off angle, including if you sit close and look at the edges. Like many WOLEDs though, it has the same green tint that you might notice from the sides. It's a widespread and common issue, but it also varies between units. There are a few more things we want to touch on regarding the picture quality before we move on to the gaming performance. As an OLED, it delivers perfect contrast with deep blacks and no haloing around bright objects. It also does a fantastic job at keeping these black levels low in a bright room. If you're going to use the TV as a monitor, you might be wondering what text looks like on it. Even though it has a 4K resolution, its bigger screen means that it has lower pixel density and worse text clarity than smaller 4K monitors. There's also some fringing around letters because of the subpixel layout. Another thing is that the default window scaling is 300%, which is just way too big, so you might want to lower it to 100 or 125% to really take advantage of the extra screen space. Like the bigger C5 we already tested, we did notice some diagonal lines caused by dithering in dark scenes. This is easier to notice if you bump up the screen brightness. Overall though, it's hard to see unless you're really looking for it or sitting close to the screen, and how much it bothers you changes from person to person. As for gaming, this TV has a max refresh rate of 144 Hz. It also supports all common VRR formats to reduce screen tearing. This makes it a good choice for PC gaming, and thanks to its HDMI 2.1 ports, it fully supports all signals with gaming consoles. When playing action games, there's almost no blur with fast-moving content because of the TV's near-instant response time at any refresh rate. Even though it's not perfect as some transitions have a bit of overshoot, motion still looks sharp. Of course, it has persistence blur at 60 Hz, which is the case with any display. It does have a black frame insertion feature that reduces this blur. Unfortunately, it only works at 60 Hz, can't be used with VRR, and the input lag is a lot higher. Even though it's hard to compare apples to oranges, how does this TV compare to the rest of the monitor market? As a monitor, it actually falls behind dedicated PC monitors, like the high-end Asus PG32U CDM. It has a lower refresh rate, lower pixel density that results in worse text clarity, and it doesn't come with an ergonomic stand. If you need a proper monitor that you're only going to use for PC gaming or work, then this display isn't for you. Its biggest strength is what it is, a small OLED TV. It offers the same fantastic picture quality that you'd expect from any OLED, and it has the benefits of a TV with its built-in smart system and processor. This is also helpful if you want to sit back and watch your favorite shows or movies. The 42-inch screen is a nice size if you want a display to put on your desk and you don't want to be overwhelmed by getting a 55-inch or larger screen. It's just that perfect size for you to sit close enough while still getting an immersive feel and having a ton of screen space to work with. Plus, it's a decent upgrade over the older C4. The main advantage of getting this is that you can enable the peak brightness setting in PC mode, allowing it to get brighter. If you aren't going to use that setting though, you can go for whichever model you can find for cheaper because they're so similar besides that. Honestly, if you already have the C4 and you're happy with it, there isn't much the C5 offers to make that jump worth it after only 1 year. Overall, the C5 is a great choice if you're looking for something specific, a small TV that you could use as a PC monitor. If you don't need that though, it's better to stick with a dedicated PC monitor or make the jump to a bigger TV size. That's all for our review of the 42-inch LG C5. If you want more details, check out our written monitor and TV reviews. The links are in the description below. Until next time, I'm Nicholas from Ratings.com, where we help you find the best product for your needs. Ciao.